10. Anyway, this is just an orientation so that you guys know exactly how to navigate the website and know what how your grade is tabulated. Okay, so I think that that's basically what students are curious about. You can certainly read the syllabus, and there is a syllabus quiz that's due next week. I think it's on the 27th, so that it ensures me that you've read the syllabus. But nevertheless, this orientation is to give you some idea of how the course is structured. Okay, so let me just start with this real quick. And it's because this is a science course, and so you'll be expected to do some scientific thinking as well as a little bit of calculation. So you probably recognize a bunch of those scientists, and we basically sit in the shoulders of those scientists who've sort of paved the way for us to understand the universe and the world we live in. And that's what this course is about, is to give you guys an idea of how science explains things around us, especially how chemistry explains the things around us. Later on in the semester, we'll take a look at the coronavirus and see exactly how it spreads and see how scientists was able to get a vaccine really quick, and why vaccines are really important in terms of saving lives. Okay, so you may have your opinion in terms of being vaccinated or not, but in terms of science, there's pros and cons, of course, but for this particular case, it's saving a lot of lives. And yeah, it's going to affect some people, but the number of people it affects is pretty small compared to the number of people who have died in based on being affected by the virus. It's kind of like the Spanish flu. In the Spanish flu, they didn't really have a vaccine, and so many people died. More people died from the Spanish flu than of all the fatalities in World War I. So let me go ahead and talk to you guys about this course. I'm going to go a little bit about the syllabus first, and then I want to navigate Canvas and show you where the lecture notes are, as well as where the textbook can be found, and then the homework and the quizzes. The three main areas that you guys are going to be graded are the homework, which is going to cover 2 chapters a week. Okay, there's a discussion board that's pretty minor. It's only 2 discussion board a week, but a total of 6 points, plus or minus. And then there's your quizzes that is going to be every week. Okay, because we have gone from 16 weeks to 8 weeks, it's kind of like a summer class where we collapse the whole 16, the whole section into this condensed form. So it goes pretty fast, but there's not a lot of intense calculations. There's still calculations because in science, math is the language of science. So you guys are expected to do some math. Okay, but let me go ahead and talk to you guys about the syllabus, and then I'll navigate Canvas. So this is just my information, and it's also found in the syllabus right here in the very top page. So this PowerPoint that I'm presenting is basically going to be similar to the information that you find in the syllabus. Okay, so this top portion right here is going to be this right here. My office, if you are can't come to campus unless you've been vaccinated, or if you're not vaccinated, you've had a test um, like 3 or 4 days prior to arriving. But anyway, that's my office. We are planning to have on-campus instructions in the spring. This is my phone number. And the best way to contact me is using the email app in Canvas. And you can find that right here. If you go to the Canvas course, right here in the left menu, you're going to see an inbox. And if you click on that inbox, it'll take you to a place where you can email your instructor. Okay, but that's where you want to email me through that inbox. And if you receive mail, you're going to see a number just like here in that inbox, and that basically means that you've got mail from somebody. Anyway, that's the best way to contact me. If you can't log on to Canvas, then you can certainly contact me at this right here, which is the Gmail I set up for this particular course. Okay, there's a web page here. This is the web page for Canvas. This web page has not been updated. Everything's pretty much through Canvas, but there are some information from this web page that is important when you need some resources. Okay, and I'll point you to that when we talk about the structure of the course. And of course, if you want to chat, you can email me and we can set up an office hours via Zoom. And this is basically how we would do it. Okay, just like I'm talking to you over Zoom right here. And of course, because you guys are here, you guys know where that button is for the Zoom. It's right here under Confer Zoom. Okay, for this class, it's going to be Confer Zoom, and that's the a Zoom program dedicated in Canvas. So this right here just says that this class is to kind of give you an idea of how the world sort of how chemistry explains the world around us. Okay, whether you're looking at forensic science or how energy is being consumed or how technology is being applied, this class will sort of address that, and we'll take a look at that in terms of the chapters that we cover in this particular book. Okay, just a real heads up, don't buy the book. Okay, I've used the book numerous years, and I was able to find a version that's like OpenStack, and you can find that right here under the module page. And under the module page, this first link right here under course information is your book. So you just click on that, and this is basically the textbook right here in these pages. You might want to be a little bit patient because it is an 87 megabyte file, but basically these are the different chapters in the textbook. So if we're covering like chapter 3, then all you've got to do is go to chapter 3 in the textbook and kind of read the chapter, because most of the homework and the quizzes are based on the textbook. You use the slide that I have in Canvas to supplement that information. Okay, and then also in Canvas, there'll be optional videos to watch, and there's usually a bonus quiz. Like if you want 10 points, you want to watch those optional video, which I think is pretty interesting. And then if you take the bonus quiz, you can get 10 points added. They're extra credit, basically. Anyway, that's where the free textbook is. It's under the module. It's under Exploring Chemistry. It's a PDF file. Okay, you can also get it here. That's the main link. And then it's also in my Google Drive page right here. So there's a number of ways of accessing the textbook. Anyway, I wanted you to see that. The way the course is structured, you need internet connection, okay? you need to access Canvas, because Canvas is the main portal that will allow you to access all the material. Under Canvas, you can go to you can get the textbook. Don't worry about Launchpad or the Macmillan publisher, but because we've got the textbook right there, and I basically written the homework from the textbook into Canvas, so you don't need to ever get the textbook on that. The lecture notes are actually in Canvas. It's linked to my webpage, and you can pull it out from there. And then within Canvas, you have the quizzes, the announcement, the email, the discussion board, and the homework. That's where everything is found. So that's the way the package is done in Canvas. This right here just tells you about the course objective. It's about introduction to non-science major. So I'm going to try and keep the math down. If you like math, then you will not be challenged, okay? If you are intimidated by math, you need to know a little bit of math, just because, again, that's the language of science, okay? And it's going to introduce you to a number of topics depending on the chapter. And you want to read those chapters, understand the basic fundamentals of that, and then test your understanding by taking the homework and then the quizzes. There is no midterm. There's like 7 quizzes at the end of each week, covering 2 chapters that you guys have reviewed, and at the end there's a final. And the final, this class is open book, open notes. Okay, just try not to find the answers in Google or the internet. You're just shortchanging yourself if you do that. Try to understand the fundamentals of science, and try and have fun in understanding what make the world tick. Okay, this right here is the requirement. Like I said, I'm obligated to put this here, but you're not obligated to purchase the text. Okay, there are numerous places where you can get the text. In fact, you can go to Amazon. Let me see. You can go to Amazon and you can rent the text for free. If you go to the announcement page, here it is. You'll see that I have a number of announcement will be coming out as the days progress. Here it is. This is what you need to do through Amazon. And you can see right here that you can let's see, other sellers you can buy. Try the ebook for free right here. Okay, you can get it for 7 days. Okay, so you can actually try the ebook for free. So these are the student learning outcomes. You guys probably know that each of your course has a student learning outcome. So these are the themes that you guys should know as you progress through the course. And when you cover a chapter, look for one of these, because there'll be numerous questions in your homework, and especially the quiz, and eventually your final, addressing some of these. Like, for example, students will recognize how chemical reactions play a key role in creating new material. Okay, like nylon. How is nylon prepared? Well, nylon's a polymer. We have 2 starting monomers. We put it together and we can make nylon. And when it was first discovered back in the 1930s, they found out that it was really useful material to make not only pantyhose for women, but also parachute. In fact, what happened during World War II was that a lot of the women submitted their pantyhose because they needed the nylon to make parachute for the war cause. Now we have something called nanotubes, okay? And these are very strong material that we use in today's technology. We have semiconductors that we use in our electronic devices. So there's a lot of chemistry in the world that we are used to, and we just sort of take it for granted. Anyway, these are the student learning outcomes. This is the schedule, and you can find the schedule as well in the syllabus right here. And let me give you a hint about how to read the syllabus right here. Wherever you see this blue, those are required assignments. Your grade is going to be based on 1,000 points, and these right here are going to accumulate to 1,000 points. The introduction, the homework, the quizzes, the weekly quizzes, actually, this should be blue too, but it's yellow just to highlight it. So you should do these assignments in order to accumulate points that will eventually determine your grade. The ones in green, and these aren't all of the green, I might put a impromptu extra credit in there, are ones that are extra credit. All these are 5 points, okay? And then within the quiz, you basically have a bonus quiz that's worth 10 points, and you can accumulate these bonus points so that you don't get so stressed out when you're actually taking the quiz or you're taking the final. In fact, many people have more than 100% going into the middle of the term because they've accumulated so much extra credit. Okay, so keep that in mind. The blue is required, the green is extra credit, the yellow right here are your weekly quizzes. You have 2 projects. They're sort of fun projects in that one of them is you look through the list that I give you and you make a demo experiment, okay? Some might make Alka-Seltzer and volcanoes, or you might do different layers, but I'll give you a link where you can look at a number of videos demonstrating some science. They should be safe, and then you try and mimic it, videotape it, and then we'll post it into the class website. And basically that's your first project. Is 35 points. You need to tell me what topic you want to choose though. And then your second project is about, sometimes I ask you guys to find a scientist, a Nobel laureate. Sometimes I ask you guys to look for a disease. Sometimes I ask you to look for a technology. So that will be your second project. Okay, and I'll give you more information on that in a couple of weeks in terms of that. But those are your projects. They add up to about 110 points. So it's about 11% of your grade. Okay, and then of course you have your final at the end, which is cumulative. It covers chapters 1 through 14. We cover 14 chapters. Okay, so that's the schedule. This right here is the important dates. The 26th is the last day to drop with a W. The Veterans Day is on the 11th. The 29th is the last day to withdraw from the class, actually with no W on the 26th. On the 19th to withdraw with a W. Thanksgiving break, and then the end of the semester. So it's going to go pretty fast. Okay, so that's your schedule right there. These are the different chapters that we will be covering. First one is just looking at the world and understanding how the world operates. It's an overview of how chemistry is applied in our world. Second one is about properties, changes, and measurement. Here we do a little bit of math. Well, not a little bit, a bunch of calculations. If you know how to add and subtract, multiply and divide, you're good in this course, okay? You might have to do a little bit of log function when we hit acid-base chemistry, but that's the extent of math in this particular class. You're not expected to do calculus. You're not expected to do differential equations. It's just add, subtract, multiply, divide, a little bit of algebra. Okay, so we're going to take a look at measurements here, and that's in the context of forensic science. We look at a theme and we apply the concept of science that is applicable to that theme. Understanding the atom is on chapter 3. You know, I always talk about the atom in the context of, similar to like Lego pieces. If you ever been to Legoland, you can see that that whole amusement park is built on these little bricks that you put together. to make the Statue of Liberty or the Eiffel Tower? Well, that's pretty much how this atom operate in the universe. You got these about maybe 118, 120 different atoms that when they combine together, they make up the ocean, or they make up you and me, okay, or they make up the air that we breathe. So it's basically Lego pieces that are put together that has properties when they come together, and it's the universe in which we live in. Okay, of course, our understanding of the atom is, at least the way we introduce it here in this class, is very fundamental. You can actually penetrate past the protons, past the neutrons, and there are other particles that make that up, but we're not going to get into that. That is for the realm of particle physics, okay? We're just looking at the atom, how the atom is structured, and how the atoms come together to make different substances, compounds, okay? And what the properties of those compounds are when they come together. So that's understanding the atom. Bonding and reaction is when the atoms come together and make new material. Chemistry of bonding and structure and function of drugs. When you put atoms together, you can make these materials. One of the materials that we create are drugs. And why are drugs so important? Because they affect the way the human body responds to those chemicals. So we're going to take a look at that. One of the things that we are going to be taking a look at in chapter 5 is cannabis. Okay, we're going to be looking at THC, the chemical in marijuana, since it's going to be legal pretty much across the country. And you want to understand, okay, how does that affect the body? Okay. And in this particular chapter, we also might take a look at how mRNA, which is the technology they use to make the vaccine now, how that is instrumental in making the drugs, which is basically what the vaccine is. It's a drug that will go into our body and combat the coronavirus. Chapter 6 is aqueous solution. What happens when you take matter and you put it in water? Okay, you take salt, you put it in water, you don't see the salt anymore. You take sugar, you put it in water, you don't see the sugar anymore. But there's a chemistry involved in that, and we need to understand that a little bit. And there's 2 chapters that covers that, just because that's an important topic. Okay, why is water considered a universal solvent? It's because water is such a magical chemical that can dissolve many material and hold them. So we're going to be taking a look at aqueous. Aqueous means water, water solutions, part 1 and part 2. Then we're going to take a look at organic chemistry. It's going to touch on the chemicals that are made out of carbon. If it contains carbon, it's an organic compound, okay? And when you put these starting materials together, you can get a chain, and that chain is called a polymer, okay? So we're going to take a look at that, our organic compounds. In fact, one of the themes that we talk about in chapter 8 is the chemical that makes the dye in tattoos, okay? Why, when you put a tattoo on the skin, is it highly colored? Why does it stay in the skin? Why doesn't it penetrate into the skin? Why does it fade over time? Why can't you erase it? Those are things that are addressed in chapter 8. Chapter 9, fire and heat. We have a lot of fires in California, okay? There's a lot of chemistry in terms of fire. If there's an arson, then the forensic scientists, the detectives actually can go in there and figure out what the starting material is and where that fire originated from. If it's a forest fire, they can actually figure out where in the wilderness that fire started, and then see whether or not it was an accident or maybe a power line from a utility. So there's a lot of chemistry in fire and heat. And then we will look at explosions. When we make bombs, or we ignite something, or when we have a chemical reaction and it sort of goes uncontrollably and it releases a lot of energy. then that's the chemistry of explosion. Kinetics is important um, because it addresses the speed of the reaction. In fact, the speed of the reaction is sometimes important to control because we don't want that reaction to happen, or we want that reaction to happen at an accelerated speed. Like, for example, you have an infection. Your body figures that it needs to kill the infection. And one of the ways it does it is it elevates your temperature. So you have a fever, so that it makes these chemicals, these antibodies that will attack that infection. So whenever you raise the temperature, you actually increase the rate of the reaction that occurs. So we'll talk about that. Nuclear chemistry is important just because we think of nuclear chemistry in terms of nuclear reactions and nuclear bombs, but there's actually a lot of medicinal purpose in terms of nuclear chemistry. Radiation treatment, like for cancer, that's under the realm of nuclear chemistry. If they want to diagnose you because maybe you have a break, or maybe they're looking for some sign of an infection like cancer, then they put you through an MRI, magnetic resonance imaging. That's in the realm of nuclear chemistry. We talk about equilibrium. Equilibrium is just about looking at a reaction and seeing how efficient that reaction is in chapter 13. And then finally, we finish up with biochemistry. Biochemistry is important because it discusses the chemistry in our bodies and in life form. So those are the chapters that we cover, and you can see there are 14 chapters. We've got 8 weeks in this class. We cover the 14 chapters in seven weeks. The 8th week, we have our final. It's pretty ambitious. We cover 2 chapters a week. If you read the 2 chapters within that week, you'll be ready. Each of your quiz opens up on a Friday. It closes by midnight Sunday. Okay, and it's generally multiple choice. So if you read the material, you should be able to answer these questions in the quizzes. There's multiple choice, maybe fill in the blank or matching. Okay, maybe some calculations when it comes to measurements and some of these other material, but it's a lot of multiple choice. So that's the topics that we will be covering here. The rest of the syllabus just talks about helpful hint, okay, about reading. Right here, reading assignments, chapter reading, homework, discussion and participation, attendance. Your attendance, I'm not going to call roll. Your attendance is based on your participation and you logging in. Canvas is like Big Brother. It knows exactly when you log in and how long you stay and when you log out. When you take a quiz, it knows exactly when you started, how much time you spend in each question, and how many times you may revisit a question. So Canvas is, like I said, it's like Big Brother. It has eyes everywhere in terms of that. So your attendance is based on just the number of times not the number of times, but that you are constantly participating in the course. If you don't log in a week, like 7 days, then it tells me you're not participating. I'll generally email you to figure out what's going on. But if you fall too far behind, I'll probably drop you. Okay. You want to keep up with the course. If anything, even if you don't read the chapter, try and get as much points as possible by participating in these quizzes, in the homework, in the projects, because the closer you are to 1,000 points, the better your grade will be. If you get 600 points accumulated at the end of the term, you've got a C grade or better. Okay, I know that here it is right here. It's going to be discussed later on in here. Okay, in terms of the way the points distribution is right here. So these are the assignments, the quizzes. These are quiz 1 through 7. Quiz 0 is the syllabus quiz, which is due on the 27th. You can do it before then, but you have to complete it by midnight. All the due dates in general are due by midnight of the due date. So this is the 27th. Quiz one's actually due this coming Sunday. Okay, and that covers chapters 1 and 2. But the syllabus quiz is right after the withdrawal date. It's on the 27th. You have to take that so you understand the policies of the class. Anyway, these are all 50 points. These are all 50 points. You have a part one of your final, which is a multiple choice part, and then part two, which is an essay. Okay, and that's worth 50 points. In terms of homework, that's 24% of your grade. There's 14 homeworks, 20 points a piece. Okay, that's 280. You get to drop 2. If you miss it or you get a low score, I'll drop the 2 lowest score. Okay, there's the syllabus quiz, that's 50 points, it's 5% of your grade. There's 7 weekly quizzes. Okay, that's 50 points a piece, 5% a piece, and that's 35%. What I will do is you have 7 weekly quiz. I'll drop the lowest or the one that you miss. Okay, so if you forget to take a quiz because you've been busy, that's the one that's dropped. I'll take the remaining 6, take the average of that, and replace the drop quiz based on the average of the remaining. So if you do well on the remaining quiz, that's like doing well on the 7th quiz. Okay, your finals 20%, like I said, 50 points for the essay, 150 points for the multiple choice. There's actually a practice final that will count like participation points. Okay, so that will be showing up like sometime like December 12th, December 13th. There's 2 projects. I already described that. That's 110 points or 11%. And then the discussion and participation supplement questions, that's 50 points accumulative. Any assignments past these are extra credit. Okay, any assignments above these are extra credit. So all these has come up to 100% or 1,000 points. Okay, this is the breakdown, and you can see right here that I say 55 to 64% is a D, but I actually lower the C grade, not to 65%, but to 60%. So all you need is a passing grade in this class, a C or better, then acquire 600 points. If you can acquire 600 points in this class, then you've got a C grade or better. It's not common for a lot of students to get over 90%, just because there's a lot of extra credit built in. So that's the grading structure. The rest of this, like I said, is just information about how the class is operated, your responsibility, what I will be doing, and then making sure that you understand that. So read this demonstration of work. Sometimes you have to show your work, and that means uploading your file and making sure that you name your file so that I can identify that it's you and what assignment that is for. Okay, so whenever you submit something, always name it based on your last name and your first name. That's the first thing. And then a title. So that's important. And I think I put that right here. Uploading work, the file name should be last name, assignment, title, and the date. That way I can address it based on what the content is. So like I said, the rest of these are just important notes, demonstration of work. If you need to show work, you need to show your thought process. Quizzes, midterm, we don't have midterm in this class, but quizzes and final. Generally, the quizzes and final are timed. If you have a DSPS accommodation, please let me know. I want to make sure that you take advantage of that. And usually that means that you get time and a half. And I have a way of increasing your time and a half allotment when you take a quiz. Homework, it's not time, so you don't get accommodations for that, but it does have a deadline. All the deadlines generally are on the due date at before midnight. Okay, so again, these are just information about the quizzes, the final, the exams, calculations, and understanding how to use calculators, administrative issues. If you have questions about my teaching style, or maybe you just have problems with the course, please talk to me. We can work out something. Okay. Sustainability on campus, we put this in all the courses because we try to make sure that we take care of Mother Earth. And that's important, especially based on the chemistry that we will be studying in this class. Why is climate change? Um, you know, your generation is going to be affected by what we do today. My generation, we just sort of haphazardly did all these things, not thinking about the future generation when we burn a lot of fossil fuel, when we dump a bunch of plastic in the ocean. Now we realize that that was all a mistake. Why didn't we do something back then? Well, we didn't, but we're trying to do something now so that future generations can appreciate this planet, and it's going to be better off than when we entered. Hopefully that's the case. For my generation, I think it's not the case. We're putting it in harm's way. Okay. Honesty, conduct, disruptive behavior, plagiarism. You should read that, because if you are plagiarizing or you are cheating in this class and you are caught, you're going to be referred to the chair and the dean, and you may fail this class. Okay. Conditions for being dropped in this class: missing 3 consecutive assignments. Okay. It shows that you're not participating. Whenever I see that you're not participating, uh, I'll try and contact you first to make sure everything's okay. But if nothing's happening, non-participation, it's better off you withdraw. That way you don't get a F grade in your transcript. Okay, it's better to get a W than an F. If you do get an F, you can take the course again in the future. And if you get a better grade, it will replace that F. Okay, and your GPA will increase based on that new grade, just so that you know. But this is like this is the one of the course that is entry level. It's a GE class. And so the other courses that we offer in chemistry are going to be much more difficult. This is the as easy as it gets in terms of doing the math, maybe doing some understanding the chemistry will be a little bit challenging, but that's that's what you need. Most people need to be challenged in order to grow. So hopefully you'll see that value in this class. Missing quiz 0, which is the syllabus quiz, that's a mandatory quiz. Average drop below 25%. Again, you're not trying, not logging into Canvas for 7 days. Okay, again, non-participation, or you are dishonest or having disruptive behavior. Those are all grounds for being dropped or being dismissed in this class. Since we have partial service on campus, there are tutorial service, but if you can't go to the Academic Success Center, that's near the library at Miramar, there's a tutorial center. It's called the Academic Success Center. If you can't make an appointment there to see a tutor, and the tutors that we have there are going to help you remotely. But if you can't get an appointment with a tutor, I'm your best tutor. Okay, just email me. We can Zoom together, and I can walk you through understanding that concept, or understanding that how to do that calculation. I'm your best tutor. If you are a DSPS student, let me know, because we need to make sure you exercise the accommodations you are entitled to. We have a science club, Miramar Chemistry affiliate. If you join that, you get some bonus points, but you have to let me know, and I'll send out announcements in this this announcement page in Canvas, so that you can participate in that. We don't have the help room because the campus is closed, but if the campus was open, the help room, which is in the science building, are staffed by your instructors. I will be in there like maybe once a week, and I can help students out, but that service is not available since we've had the lockdown. read these. These are words of wisdom that I found in Quora. Okay, read that. And then especially it's important to read the honesty academic policy so you understand what is allowed and what is not allowed. Okay, collaborating with your friends, studying together is allowed, but you should not do the work for your friends. And that's what this page is for, collaboration versus dishonesty. Okay, so you should read that and understand the difference. And then this right here was just a letter from the chair because since we've gone on lockdown and everything went to online teaching, there was a humongous increase in dishonesty. Students who've, because remember when we went lockdown, we had the first part of the semester uh, face to face, and then we went to remote. And what happened was that students who were getting mediocre grade all of a sudden were the top of their class, which means that they were not being quite honest. In fact, several students in my general chemistry class were caught hiring people to do their lab. Okay, and the reason why we caught them was because the people that they hired actually reported them. Okay, so don't do that. Anyway, that's what's found in the syllabus, and you have a syllabus quiz that covers this entire thing as well as the context in Canvas. So let me go ahead and close this and introduce you to the context in Canvas. Whenever you open Canvas, you're going to go to the course. And when you go to the course, you have a menu when you open Canvas as far as what course you have access to through Canvas. You'll see this, okay? This says spring. I forgot to change that, but it really should be fall, okay? Forgot to change that, but everything in here is based on fall 2021. I just forgot to change this right here, okay? So the way I would do that is I would just go in here, edit, and then I would just make this fall. So I'm giving you hints on how your instructors change these things in Canvas. So, and now everything should be current. Okay, I did, the syllabus is for fall, the context is for fall. I just forgot to change that. Okay, if you click here, that's where you access the syllabus, but you also see it right here. Okay, and when you see it right here, this is just a screenshot of the syllabus. You can download it here as well. Anyway, that's home. In home, you also have access to my web page, but again, I'm working on that because the college went to a different server, so that's not readily available. But you can go to my Google page, which you will find the textbook here. Okay, let's go to the module. This is where you'll spend a great deal of your time in the module page. The welcome is the syllabus, the course outline, academic honesty, the text resource. Okay, whenever you click on these things, you'll see that it takes you to this page that tells you it's going to open in a new window. If you don't want that annoying route, then what you want to do is right click and then open in a new window. And when you do that, it automatically takes you to that new window. Okay, so that's just text resources. Try the ebook, open in a new window. This is it right here. You can try the free ebook right here. Okay, my home page. Click in a new window, and this is the home page for that. This again is dated because the college changed servers. So I haven't been able to update this, but not to worry, everything's in Canvas. Okay, so I do need to work on that. So that's the information. You click on this triangle to collapse it, so it'll be out of the way. Introduction and salutations. Here, you want to peruse this. Okay, this tells you the table of content. Introduction and salutations. that actually takes you to my homepage and takes you to a PowerPoint for this right here. Tells you what this course is about. Let's close that. This right here is the other one that you want to see is this right here, because there's an extra credit problem in here. Problem solving techniques. Okay, problem solving techniques. If you open that, it is a PowerPoint that sort of figures out, are you a problem solver that you use a convergent or divergent um, strategy? And if you just read through this and then answer these questions and answer A or B, then you will know what problem solving strategy you apply. Now, right here under problem solver, that's where you would take the questionnaire. And if you click on that, it'll take you to this right here. You can see that it's open now. It's going to close on the 26. But if you look at this, it's basically those questions in that PowerPoint. I prefer to solve most problems by relying on logical approach or relying on hunches and inspiration. So you want to either click on this or this, depending on what your strategy is. And then it's going to tally up points. And depending on your score, you will figure out whether you are a convergent problem solver or divergent problem solver. It's extra credit. Okay, so try it out. So all of this material in the introduction and salutation, except for the meet and greet, they're extra credit, okay, and the syllabus. So background information, what you know, math, pretest, problem solver, DHMO project, those are extra credit. Now it says 0 points here, but when you complete it, I will go in, read it, and then give you 5 points for your participation. That's basically how it works. Now, the meet and greet, and hopefully some of you have already done this, is basically just to introduce yourself to the rest of your classmates. So you get to have an idea of who the members of your class are. Who knows? You might be the same, you might have the same major, you might have the same interests. You might live just in the same apartment complex. You'll see this in the meet and greet. And then, of course, on the 27th, before the 27th. Right now, it's open today, since this morning, and it's going to close on the 27th. I do give you guys a grace period. That's why it says until. It's due on the 27th before midnight. But if for some reason you are not able to turn it in, you have a 12-hour grace period. That's the until date. Okay, you won't be counted late. That's the grace period. So all until dates here are your grace period, but the due date is really the 27th before midnight. This is a 50-point syllabus quiz. Your time 60 minutes. Okay, so if the assessment is time, you'll see it in this opening page. And then there's some information right here in terms of the description of that. So again, that's where you're going to find that information, extra credit or initial information. After I edit this video, you're going to find the session that we have right here under salutation and intro video. It's going to replace this right here. This was last spring's video, but I will replace it with our video in this link right here. Again, you want to right click and say open in a new window. And when you do that, it's basically going to be in YouTube. And when you do see things in YouTube, let's get out of this commercial. Try and turn on the caption. That way you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Chemistry is used in all walks of life, and you'll be amazed. So this is the salutation. This is the introduction video for last spring. Okay, so let me close this. So again, that's just You should take a look at that sometime this week. But your main assessment and where you're going to be graded is right here. Unit 1, week 1, part A, week 1, part B. So covers a lot of material. This is where you find the quiz, and this quiz is not open until the 22nd. That's Friday morning. It's going to close on the 24th. That's Sunday evening. You have the 25th. Let me just take a look at my calendar real quick. At 1 p.m., that's your until date. Again, until date is your grace period. So take a look at my calendar real quick. What is the, yeah, so October 24th is a Sunday. It's due by that. The 25th is going to be your until date. And this should actually be 11:59 a.m. You generally have 12 hours for that. Anyway, again, I'm giving you guys a grace period because I know that sometimes you guys are stressed on that. Let's go back to the module page. So you'll see that at the very beginning of each section that we are covering. These are the quizzes. Then week 1, where you have these right here, that gives you the e-text. If you click on that, this gives you, it goes to my web page, and you can see the lecture notes for that, or you can go right here and do right click, and that's basically the PowerPoint slide that is going to be covered in for chapter 1. Okay, now it's sort of slow. I don't know why it's slow, but it should load the PowerPoint. Okay, let me close that because I don't have a lot of time. And in this particular section, this covers chapter 1, understanding our world of chemistry. That's going to be right here. Now, wherever you see optional, that's optional. You don't have to watch that video. But if you watch these videos right here, then when you take the bonus quiz right here, then you can get 10 points extra credit. But it's not required. That's why it says optional. You want to click here. You want to click here, here, and here. Those are the required materials for chapter 1. Okay, test your understanding. Chapter 1, what you'll find is right here is the homework. So when you finish reading chapter 1, you want to click on the homework. It's contained within that module, and then complete this homework. You get 3 chances. So if you get something wrong, do it again. And what the homework session will do is it'll tell you that you didn't do very well for this particular question. It gives you feedback so you can repeat it and get a better score. You get 3 chances. And you can see that they're mostly multiple choice, but it's a good way of testing your understanding right here. Okay, these are the homework for chapter 20. And you can read it, you can see what the questions are, and then you can read the chapter and then answer these as you go along. Let me go back. Again, that's basically what each module contains. It has the quizzes for those 2 chapters that are being covered, chapters 1 and 2, a bonus quiz that covers these optional links. They're basically videos. There's the homework, okay? And there's the discussion. D1 is the discussion. So this is only worth 3 points, but what you want to do is, and you can see someone already participated here, is just reply to this thread. And if you participate, then you get the 3 points in the discussion. So those are the required weekly items that you have to complete: the reading, the quiz, the homework, the discussion. Now that's early in the week. Later in the week, we cover chapter 2, the reading, okay, the optional video, the discussion, the homework, okay? Then when we're done with that, next week, you guys will collapse this right here, collapse these right here, and go to week 2. This week 2 is your quiz, which won't be available until that Friday. Your bonus quiz, these are chapter 2 material. You want to read the context in the ebook. This right here is the PowerPoint that covers that particular section. Okay, I don't know what's going on with my internet right now. Maybe I have too many windows, but it's loading up this PDF file. Okay, so I'll let that load in the background and then I'll show you. But these are the materials that will have that. And what you will see is that in some of these, I actually have a lecture video covering that particular topic. So if you open this, you'll see that for that particular topic, I actually cover it in a lecture video. Okay, it talks about the PowerPoint. So anyway, let me close this. This is week 2. You cover the context, you do the homework, you participate in the discussion. The second part of week 2, you do chapter, remember, week 2 covers chapters 3 and 4. Cover chapter 4, you do the homework, and there's also a discussion in here that should be in here because that's what is going on. If you ever want to see the cumulative assignments, click on this calendar right here, and the calendar will show you what assignment is due that particular week. Okay. Make sure that you, right here, you click on that particular section, that course. Right now I have it for my other course. So I'm going to click right here and then not click on that. Okay. So I don't know why that's not working. Let's see. This thing should, for some reason, it's not showing the assignments. I don't know why, but I'll take a look at that. But this is basically what it will do. It'll give you an idea of when that due date for that assignment is. I don't know why this is not working. I got to double check that, but this thing should show you all the assignments for this particular class. Okay, I'll double check that, but that's where the calendar is. But that basically is what you guys are gonna, how you guys are going to navigate through this course. It's going to be in the module. Confirm Zoom, you already know. And then if you want to see your points for an assessment, you want to click right here under grades, and then it'll tell you how many points you have for a certain assignment that you did. And if you click on that score will take you back to that assignment and you see what you miss. Okay, so the modules, this is the link for Zoom, your grades, and that basically is what you guys are going to be navigating. There's the Google Drive, NetTutor. I don't think we have that service. UniCheck that checks for plagiarism. Tutoring, I don't, okay, these things should not be here, but most of the time you guys are going to be spending in module right here. Okay, and again, if we look at the module, you see week 1, week 2. I'm going to be a little bit late. It's 8 o'clock right now, but I'll wrap things up. Week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5, week 6. We have Thanksgiving break on week 6. Okay, week 7, week 8. So on week 8, you want to pay attention to that. We cover chemistry, biochemistry, but final week, this is your final week. This is due on the 13th, part 1 of your final. Part 2 of your final, the essay is due on the 16th, okay? And you will see that there's also going to be a practice final in here that will be embedded in here. This right here, these links down here is project 1. These are the links that gives you idea of what demonstration to do. And then down here on student project 2, now this is sort of old, but I will update this in terms of what theme we will be covering. Okay, but that's this course. If you have any questions, please make sure that you email me or contact me. Remember that we have a couple of things that are due this week. Go in here under the intro and salutations, complete these extra credit, complete the meet and greet by the 26th, complete the syllabus quiz by the 27th. By this Sunday, you guys should be completing quiz 1 that covers chapters 1 and 2. If you watch the bonus video, then you can also do the bonus quiz, which is only 10 points, but hey, it's 10 points. Okay, make sure you participate in the discussion, and that will take care of quiz 1. Then we have a new week after next week. Okay, and you do the same thing. It goes pretty fast. Know that you do get to drop 2 homework. You get to drop 1 quiz. Everything's open book, open notes, no open friends. Okay, and you want to accumulate 600 points if you want to pass this class. If you get 900 points, you get a guaranteed A in this course. Okay, so that's all I have in terms of this orientation. Okay, I just want to make sure that you guys understand how to navigate Canvas, where to find the material. Again, you want to go up here under course information and click right here in order to get access. Oops, sorry. The trick in doing this, okay, is to make sure that you right click and say open in a new window. That way it doesn't, well, it does the same thing. It should open up directly, like what it's doing right here. Okay, eventually it'll open up, especially if you have your cache. But that's all I have for today. I appreciate you guys coming in.